Hey guys, my name is Spidey, and in this video I'm going to teach you how you can hypnotize your friends in just a couple of seconds. So get ready to explode some minds. Okay guys, welcome back. So you asked and I answered. This is the first tutorial video on this channel. Yay! So depending on if you guys like this and if you comment or if you dig this kind of content, I'm willing to do more tutorials like this. So hopefully you guys will really like this and you'll go out and use this. Today I'm going to teach you how to do a pretty simple hypnotic test that's called a hand lock. A hand lock is any time you use hypnosis to lock someone's hands together, to stick them together. Now this is something that's relatively easy to do, hypnotically speaking. However, there are degrees of hand locks. The most difficult one, and one that we will not cover today, is when you stick people's hands in this position. So it's in front of them like this. Now, although we're not going to learn that today, I want you to see what it looks like. So here's a clip of me doing a difficult hand lock on stage. All of you, take both your hands and lock your fingers in like this. All your fingers, all your thumbs locked, interlocked, crossing like this. Bring your hand up in front of you like this. Look at your hand. Focus on your hand. In fact, I want you to imagine that both your hands are becoming this one solid ball of metal. Like a ball of metal that's welded together. Just one ball of metal, both your hands are impossible to separate. Don't test it, just focus. Go ahead and test it. Go ahead and test it. Pull on those arms. Go ahead and test it. You can go back. Thank you. Go, pull. You can go back. Thank you. Pull, go, pull. Come on. Get your knees in there. Separate them. They're stuck. You can go back. Thank you. Pull. Come on, guys. You can do this. Pull. Pull. Come on. Listen to me. When I stomp my foot on the ground, everything will separate like that. Just like that. Everything comes apart. Everything comes apart. Everything comes apart. So that's basically what you're going to be learning, but we're going to change the hand position to optimize your chance of actually getting this to work all the time, or almost all the time. So the hand lock we're going to be learning today is done in this position or this position. This is the easiest position to do a hand lock in. Fingers locked, hands inverted, hands on top of the head like this. And in a moment you'll understand why it's very easy to do a hand lock that way. Now before you learn how to do this, I want you to actually try it yourself. So click the video above over here and go to the video of me actually doing a hand lock to the camera for you. If you haven't done it yet, it's very important for you to experience it and see if it works for you before you learn how to do it to other people. So today we're going to be covering the hand lock in this position. Fingers interlaced and the arms above the head like this. Now there are two aspects that make this work. The first one is the psychological or hypnotic aspect. Basically what you do and say in order to get the person's hands to lock. The second aspect is the physical aspect. You're basically using a small physical advantage, and I'll show you what that is. When your fingers are locked together, your hands are inverted and your hands are on top of your head like this. Go ahead and try this. If you stretch your arms upwards, almost straight, you'll notice that when you try to separate your fingers, it's slightly painful. And you're using this to your advantage. It's not impossible. It's certainly very possible. It can be done. I could totally do it here. I could totally do it there. It can be done, but it's slightly painful. So basically, the body doesn't want to separate the fingers. And you're going to use that, mix it in with the psychological aspect in order to convince them that their fingers are stuck. But let's get into it with more detail right now. Now before we even begin, keep two things in mind. One, you can always use the performance video from earlier as a guide, as a reference. And two, the most important thing in hypnosis ever, for all kinds of hypnosis, is confidence. No matter what you're trying to do, confidence is the most important thing when trying to hypnotize someone. You can't hesitate, you can't seem unconfident, you can't be like, I think your hands, maybe your hands. You can't be like that. You have to be so confident, so sure of yourself that they believe what you believe. And that confidence is so contagious and my willpower is so strong that they inevitably believe that it's going to happen for them as well. So remember, confidence, confidence, confidence. Great, so now let's get into how you're going to do the hand lock. First of all, you want to make sure that you try this on multiple friends at the same time. Quite simply because any hypnosis demonstration is not 100% accurate. It's not going to work on everyone. So the more people you have, the more odds you have that this is going to work on at least 2 or 3 people. Make sure everyone's comfortably seated, make sure there isn't a lot of noise, and now you're going to begin. So you're going to have everybody take their hands and interlace their fingers like this. Not like this, like this. Really get them to go as far as it'll go. Then they're going to invert their hands like this, so their thumbs are downwards, and they're going to bring their hands on top of their heads like this. They're not stretching up yet, they're just kind of like this. At this point, you're going to talk to them about how their fingers are stuck to each other with the world's strongest super glue. Remember that confidence. Really push this idea of this glue being between their fingers. Go back to that performance video and listen to my script again and again. Then you're going to say, now your fingers are being welded together. In fact, your hands are now turning into one solid plate of metal. Remember, imagine what it would be like for their hands to actually be stuck together, and with 100% confidence and conviction, talk about it. Be like they're stuck together, they're welded together, it's impossible to separate. Another important note is that I'll often say, maybe once or twice in that whole sequence, I'll say, now don't test it yet, just really focus. Don't test it yet, but really think about it, because you don't want them to try early and separate it. You really want them to pound that image of their hands being stuck to each other into their heads. Now that you've taken 30 or 40 seconds to really push that thought in there, you're going to say this. You're going to say, great, now that your hands are completely stuck together, I want you to go ahead and push your hands upwards and test it. Notice how your hands are stuck. Test it. Go ahead, try it. Your hands are stuck, aren't they? Now, rewind this and listen to the words that I said. The reason you're saying this, the reason you're not saying, go ahead, try to separate them, is because if you say that, their mind might hear the words separate them and take it as a suggestion and actually be able to separate them. Because you're conditioning them to follow what you're saying. It's kind of like saying, don't think of a black cat. What are you thinking of? It doesn't matter that I said don't. That's how the mind works. Now you're going to observe. You're going to look at your friends. Some of them are going to be stuck and suffering, and at this point you can say whatever you want. You can say, you can't separate them, can you? You can say whatever you want. You've got them. Some of them is not working so much, or it's kind of working, and that's going to gauge how much longer you're going to just go with this. If they're really stuck and they can't separate it, take a couple of seconds, enjoy it, take it all in. Congratulations, you just hypnotized someone. If you see that it's kind of wearing off, don't panic, just skip to the end a lot quicker. And the end is this. You're going to say this. Now take a nice deep breath of air in, and now relax, and notice how all that glue falls apart. Your hands can now separate. Go ahead, separate your hands. Now there's a few important elements to this. First of all, the breath. The breath relaxes the body, and as their body relaxes, their arms tend to, because you've had them stretch it up, their arms relax, and they can just separate. The second thing is I say the word separate once or twice. I say that glue comes apart. I'm giving them that cue. And very importantly, I make this loud sound. It could be a slap, it could be a clap, it could be whatever you want. Just make noise. And the reason for that is because when you make a startling sound like that, it distracts their thoughts. It distracts their mind. So they're not so focused anymore on this situation. They relax, they lose focus, and now their hands can separate. Now before I go, just because I want to make sure that you guys got all the important elements here, let's go over the key points. 1, make sure that you're in a quiet environment, that there isn't a lot of noise. 2, make sure you're trying this on several people, not just 1 or 2. Try to get as many people as you can. 3, be confident, speak confidently. 4, really take your time to push in that suggestion of the glue, the welding, your hands are stuck. 5, at the moment where they're going to try to separate them, get them to push their hands upwards and far away from their body, and also use words like test it, try it, notice how it's stuck, as opposed to words like try to separate it or you can't separate it, at least in the beginning. 6, at the moment where you're done and you want them to separate, you tell them to take a nice deep breath of air in, relax, make a noise, and you say now the glue is gone and you can separate your hands. 7, finally, practice, practice, practice. Watch the performance video, listen to my script. Of course, in the performance video, I'm doing it this way. It's a little bit more difficult This is a lot easier. You'll get a lot more success this way. So that's it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope it was clear. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of content and if you want to get more hypnosis tutorials. And if you do, I will definitely give you some more content of this nature. Also, I want to hear how this worked for you, and I would love to see how this worked for you. So if you guys upload videos, make sure you tag me or send it to me or comment in the video below to let me know how this worked for you. I can't wait to hear your success stories. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I will see you soon.